Coach Devin here. You want to get positive? You want a little life hack? This is the video for you. Before we get going, please click the like button down below and subscribe for more great fitness and motivational videos. So often people ask me, why are you so positive, Devin? What is it? What's the trick? Why is it that you manage to keep yourself in a good mood every day? And obviously some of that stuff is not just me forcing it. I have some good wiring. A client of mine one time years ago, who's a psychiatrist, when I was training him, he said, if you have a bad day and you wake up, you're going to bed and you're stressed out and you wake up the next day, how do you feel? And I said, well, quite often I have, some ways to fix that problem. And I've worked out some ideas over in the night in my head. And he said, that's called good wiring. So you have some good wiring. But then I explained to him something else that I do, which is a great little life hack. And he said, you know what? I never ever thought of that. And he'd been a psychiatrist for, 20 plus years. He said, I never thought of it. That's a great idea. And he actually started doing this. So this is my life hack about how to make yourself feel better in the morning. And it actually doesn't take much. We all have to get up in the morning, eat breakfast, and get ready, right? See, when you're in the bathroom in the morning, what I do in the bathroom, and it started years ago, and I watched a video, you can Google it. It's called, it's actually a Nike commercial. It's called Welcome to the Grind. And it's all about, it starts, it says at 6 a.m. and your hand can't make it at the alarm clock before your voice in your head starts telling you it's too early to get out of bed. And that is, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that is basically how the commercial starts. And it's a Nike commercial about having to get up and go get it and work hard, which is, normal Nike type stuff. And that's something that I would start listening to in the morning. And probably I went for, 3 or 4 weeks every day. I'd be brushing my teeth or shaving and I would turn that on and I would listen to that in the morning. And you know what? It changes the way you think and the way you perceive the world when you're hearing positive reinforcement first thing in the morning. And I started to really go, wait a second, I feel good when I listen to this. And I'm in a job, fortunately, lots of people out there are not in a job they love. I'm in a job I love. I get to come to work, hang out with people I really like, do something I love every day. So I don't have a lot to be complaining about. But back when I started doing this, I was going through a pretty acrimonious divorce. Wasn't seeing my kids as much as I wanted to, and it was stressful at the time. So I started listening to this Nike commercial called Welcome to the Grind in the morning, and it really helped. I felt like a different guy, so I could get up and be stressed out over lawyer bills and, thinking about having to go to court, because I had to go to family court a few times, which I wouldn't recommend to anybody. Don't do it. There's better ways. And I started to do that, and it really started to help. So then I started thinking, you know what? I've heard Welcome to the Grind so many times. Thusly, I can quote the first line verbatim from my memory. Maybe I should start, something else would be good to listen to. So I started to search out other things. And what's amazing out there is, on YouTube, there are literally thousands of motivational speech compilations out there. I'll put a couple down and tag a couple places that I really like and a couple channels I really like in the description rather down below, which you can take a look at. I'm also going to put together a playlist. So if you click on the motivational playlists later on, you'll be able to see some of my favorite ones. But there's some really, really good ones. And what you get to do is listen to super upbeat, motivational stuff, speeches from intelligent, fantastic orators. And on top of that, they have motivational music playing over it. I mean, it changes your whole morning. And I'll tell you, I have started to tell clients about it, and they too have found it really, really helps, because what it does for you is it forces you to think of things in a different manner. You get out of bed in the morning, and no one loves jumping out of bed first thing in the morning. And you know what, especially on days that I get up super early, like 4:30 in the morning, even I, as much as I like being up and I love my job, and I'm pretty upbeat most days, sometimes I'm like, boy, I could do without being up at 4:30 in the morning. When you start playing that stuff and you're starting to listen to something, it changes something in your head. And I always flash back to something I did in university, which I worked for Theater Annie Ganesh at St. FX University. And that's my shout out to St. FX. While I was working for Theater Annie Ganesh, I actually earned a Theater X there for my acting. Not that my acting was that good. I think I just did a lot of plays and they were nice to me. But I had to learn for a one-act play I was in called The Zoo Story by Edward Albee, I had to learn a very long monologue. It's about a 30-minute or so monologue, and I just speak. It's a story, but to learn a 30-minute monologue takes a lot of work. So to get off book, which means you're not, reading it anymore, I had to learn that. So I was finding it challenging, and the first couple, first week or so that I'm working on it, I'm having a hard time because it's so much material to learn and to master. So, and there's no back and forth. It's just, was me speaking. So what I did is I taped myself reading it, and then I put the tape on loop. This is back in the old days. We're talking the 90s, so there were tapes. I put the tape on loop, and I would run it all the time. I would run it when I was sleeping, when I was, no matter what, I just run it. And I learned that stuff in probably, I don't know, in 2 weeks, I had that whole thing down pat. And it stuck in my head a little bit. So when I started thinking about listening to motivational stuff, I flashed back to that and I thought, you know what, that's the best stuff I can do, because it forces you to, even if you're brushing your teeth and you're thinking about something else, you're being bombarded with positive stuff. You're being constantly pounded with positive things, upbeat stories about you can do it. You'll be okay. Everything's going to be great. Put your mind to it. Go to work hard. Those things stick in your head. And it really changed the way I have thought about my day. It's changed my day in general. It makes you, frankly, I think it makes you a better boss. It makes you a better employee. It makes you a better spouse, a better parent, because you're just in a better headspace. We've all been in a headspace that's bad. We've all been in a headspace that's good. This helps you get in a really good headspace and stick in that good headspace. So Google some of the motivational videos on YouTube, or click down below. I'll put some of them in the link in the description of this, and I'll also create a playlist of some of my favorite ones. I have about 15 or 20 that I play with all the time. There are some really great ones out there. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe to this channel. Also, I'm giving away a free PDF. It's called Devin's Guide to Getting and Staying Lean. I'm going to put a link in the description. You can click and download it there. Have yourself a great day. Don't fight the hustle.